log 19.0. I think so. I don't know. Double check. What a horrible way to start this one. I'm so off, so out, so tired. I sleep horribly during the weekend, to be honest. Like this tonight, this morning, I think I got to sleep at like maybe 6. Woke up at like what, 9:30. Um, that's not unusual, to be honest. Like there's always a day in the week where I just get a horrible night's sleep. And it's not like the other nights of the week I get especially good sleep or amount of sleep. So I don't know, it adds up, or I lose out and then I catch up, I suppose, on the weekend. And given there's nothing to do these weekends, plenty of time to catch up on sleep, sure. So we'll see. That said, last weekend I did do something, had a buddy over. He's like my only friend I really hung out with out here. Really my only guest, to touch on this before, outside of like my boss who stopped by at one point, but didn't even like sit down or grab a drink or anything like that. I don't know if that qualifies as a guest. It's just was my first person to see my place. And my mom, of course, doesn't count. So with the exception of those two, and like electricians and handymen that have been through, definitely don't count. This one guy is the only guy that's really been here, seen my spot and hung out here, but really that I've hosted as a guest. We played like I bought a bunch of poker chips just in anticipation of having people over. Right now, I think technically we're still not allowed to, like legally, like still on lockdown, no guests, no like even people at your house sort of thing. But I was just thinking the other week, like it was kind of rainy for a couple of weeks in a row. Weather was kind of shite, I guess, as they say out here. But the big draw to my spot is the terrace, and I was thinking if it's rainy, there's really having people over, I have nothing to offer, right? So I went and bought some poker chips, so there's an inside option. And not even that I'm like a poker player, especially anyone knows me knows I'm not. But yeah, I'm down to play cards. I don't even care if I lose money. I'm just down to play. And it gives me an inside option when the terrace is wet or whatever, right? But he came through, we hung out, went Camden Market, which is surprisingly popping. Hella packed, actually. Like even me, who's like, I'm not square about it. I'm still surprised how many people are out there on the weekend and without masks as well. So almost like a straight up middle finger to the whole like lockdown at Camden Market on the weekend. But then again, this weekend, last weekend was like better weather after a while, where it wasn't, right? So good, so hot, so nice, so not wet or cold or even snowy a couple of weeks ago, which is unusual for London. Anywho, that said, what was I even saying? Oh, so it is the 19th, so 19.0, and the time is Saturday, February 27th, 2021, 12:37 a.m. GMT. So what to say about this week? Well, Monday, the hire starts. The USCSM we hired, she begins her first day on Monday, March 1st. Excited about that. Touched on this before. This will be my first real hire. Obviously I've had a report before. The one that reports to me here is, I guess, technically that first, because the past I've been like a lead. As a lead, they don't really directly report to you. Lead is such a bullshit title, bro. Anyone who's been a lead, and I've basically been a lead like 2 times already, right? It's just such a whack role. It's like expectation without real power, responsibility without really anything I don't know. It's just whack. The lead role, right? And it's like ill-defined, and it's like awkward as well. It's like you're not their manager. But, I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. Just just whatever. Fuck it. Like, but as actually having a direct report, this will be my technically second, but the first one I formally hired, decided on, made the decision on. So nothing new to be said there, but she starts on Monday. So, this is we'll see how it goes, because I've had very interesting relationships with my managers over my life, and I'm about to be somebody else's, you know, and in a way that I think the dynamic really does change once you have like a team of two. When it's just you and one other person, even if they're your direct report, you are really just like a lead. But you do have like power, so it is a little bit better. But at the same time, like I think it's a little bit different once you've actually got a team of two. And to be honest, this year is so critical because I realized the last few weeks I can no longer brute force it. Right. This last year, I was able just to work, make it work. Right. But now we're getting to like a level that I just cannot, we got to scale. We're growing more customers, just about more customers than ever. But more involved, definitely each customer than ever as far as what we're doing than ever before. Fortunately, at least what we're doing now is working, but there's still so much to be done. And at least like 2020, where the goal was really just to save the company, I felt like I could just like go all in and pull it off. And I actually was able to. But now, as we're getting more customers in every quarter, and as the existing customers, even once we convert them off a pilot, there's still so much work left to be done that I can't do it all anymore. I really need to. It's no longer about brute forcing it. Now it's about, especially with this hire, kind of being more tactical about it, but also have to have more tact about it. I have to get more like strategic thinking, right? Like in the past, there was just the level of strategy involved was how I was going to manage my time to be able to do all I needed to, or at least, how I was going to, where I needed help from like technical resource, what I was going to have him prioritize so that I could get what I needed in time for when it needed to be done. That level of like management, self-management, right? So to speak. Now it's more about around, will be more around like I don't know. It's a different way of thinking. I am brain dead, dude. I'm so sorry. I'm so brain dead right now, dude. But it's like more tactical. I gotta like. There's tact too involved in like managing somebody, honestly, and I don't know how great I am at that. To be honest, I don't know that I am the most tactful person, to be quite frank. Um, and when it comes to managing people, not that I have much experience in managing people, but um, when it comes to dealing with people, I think some people I deal with really well. I think most people I deal with really well, but some people I deal with like horribly. Like I think there's a wide spectrum. Like I think some people are very good at being very like stable, and it doesn't really matter who the person is, they'll still be sort of the same with me. Some people I just cannot work with. And like my experience with managers I've had in the past is kind of a testament to that. But we'll see how this goes. I do have like, obviously like trepidation about it, but right now it's more like uh, excitement at the opportunity and a real chance to have a team for the first time. And how I'm going to build my team, I haven't even given it much thought, but that's what this weekend's really about. Start like imagining, like visualizing, like using my imagination to think of like how this could all work and how it could be and how it would be different, how it will be different, how it will be special, different sort of thing, how it will be special, how a team will be, whatever. I can't overthink it, obviously, but I got to give it some thought, and I haven't given it any. The most thought I've given it this week is really kind of it's just figuring out when I was going to have the one-on-ones with her and other one. When we were going to have our now, what we'll have is now like a team meeting. Before it was just me and the one-on-one was the same as like the team meeting. Now we'll have one-on-one. I'll have one-on-one with each of them, and then the team meeting too. And really the level of like thought I've given the whole team thing at this juncture is just figuring out when the meetings are going to be next week, because there's not much time on my calendar everywhere, and I don't like doing back-to-back stuff. It's no good, if I come into a one-on-one coming out just out of an hour-long call, or like having it edge up against the next call. I don't want a hard stop either.
It's just finding like space on the calendar that makes sense and will work and gives me space between calls, which there isn't a lot out there as it is, right? And then what works for them too, because we're talking time differences as well. Try and get that overlap when for like the CSM team meeting, the time that works both East Coast as well as UK, as well as it doesn't interfere with any calls I have or my UK CSM has, right? So yeah. Anyways, I mean that's so boring to talk about. I understand, but that's what's next. That's what the next week is. I'll circle back on that this time next week. See how the first week goes. Oh, by the way, here's that watch that I got. I mentioned this last week. Mhm. If you can see it. I was thinking of doing one of these like a Houdinki YouTube video where I bring out all my watches and tell you the stories about each one. But I just don't have the energy for that right now. I'm not trying to do story time, but I thought that'd be kind of tongue in cheek because my watches aren't that expensive, right? But there each one has like story to it. Just treat it like a Houdinki interview. Or maybe what I do one of these days is like GQ does these like 10 essentials, which so many shows it's such BS, but not essential at all. A lot of what these people show. But there was a time where I got into that hole just watching a lot of those 10 GQ 10 essentials, celebrities sharing kind of their I don't know, just 10 things, right? They want to share, I guess, is what it really is. That they have matters to them. Maybe I'll do that one of those for this sometime. But anyways, this is a Seiko diver, right? Something we said about a Seiko diver. It's basically brown, gold, which is really my colors, but also black and my favorite color combination is really brown and gold. And if I were to have a team of my own, go brown gold. And it's not a common color combination. I don't understand why not, but I'm a big fan. And of course, like black and silver, it's actually kind of, and then it's got the rubber band. So it's expensive watch just to come with like a rubber band, but at the end of the day, it is a diver. And the idea here is that I could wear it anywhere and don't worry, have to worry about like the band deteriorating as I would if it were leather. And maybe it could have been stainless steel. Maybe that'd have been better, but I do have maybe I'll get a stainless steel like swap out other band. They do have the versions with the stainless steel, but not in this like brown and gold kind of color combo that I decided on. That said, as a treat to myself after a year of like having really, I dove into it, right? I came out here and just dove in, and I feel like I've been in like a submarine for the last year, just working my ass off and coming outside for air. Um, and we swam instead of sunk, so we ended up working out. And definitely, I mean, I've never really gone diving, but I love swimming. I love getting in the sea. So this is remind me of the goal I'm working toward, which is, early successful exit and then find myself on a boat. Find myself on a boat. Early successful exit, and then I don't know if I necessarily have to buy the boat. I'd love to be able to if it's that successful of an exit, but just get myself a boat off the coast of Turkey and just like spend, like I've said before, just sail around Turkey. Just like I want to fucking walk across England and drive across America, man. But yeah, and to commemorate, also, I mean, there's all sorts of things I could say this is commemorating, and in many ways it is. But just made my first hire, and now when I got myself my first like real properly priced watch, everything else I've had has been, really affordable. This is, I mean, it's no Rolex price. I could have afforded a Rolex, sure, but nah, man, Rolex is not my style, so still a Seiko man at heart. As I said, I'm pleased with it. A week on the wrist. It's kept time. It's plus minus actually isn't that good, but Seiko has like they do what like BMW used to do. I don't know if BMW still does this, but they like under advertise the performance, right? Like they'll say it's plus minus, I don't know, 15, 25. When really like right now, let's see, I said it earlier this week. I haven't retouched it. Right now, how much is it off by, if even? No, it's not. It's exact same to the minute, 48, 12:48. So yeah, that's good. I'm glad. And online, people were saying that their experiences varied. Some were saying, yeah, it skipped time, just like I'm saying now, that no issue whatsoever. Others said, maybe off by like a minute after a week or so. But well, so far so good. Um, that said, if I really cared crazily about accuracy, I just revert to the courts, right? Um, but it doesn't matter to me. It is annoying when like, and then you watch this off a couple of minutes after like what, a week or less. That's whack. Um, and honestly, like I saw a lot of like manual wine watches I like, but I don't think I could ever get into like manually winding my watch every day. Maybe I have to do it to get it, and maybe I'd enjoy like the tactile feel of or the not tactile. It is tactile, but the I don't know, the routine of winding my watch. But the idea that I had to do that every day, I don't know. Seems automatics are cool. When I first learned what an automatic was, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like you just wear it and it keeps itself running. That's awesome. And the battery will never die because there isn't one, right? Like that is cool. Like when I first heard about that or understood that, I was like, okay, that's cool. Um, so yeah, that said, um, this is a very lame one. I really don't really have much to say this week, or I definitely feel like I did. I always feel this way coming into these, like brain dead once I get to them. But yeah, man, it's more just bookmark or not bookmark. I don't even know the words, but just keep track of like my life. Even if I look back and just like retrace how things went. I've said this before here again, I'm repeating myself. Um, but yeah, how about we talk about, so I have something different with this one being said. How about we talk about every one of my managers? I'll just give a short story, brief blurb about each and every one of my managers, my experiences with them. So, first one, the first job I ever got hired for, I lost before I started, right? So, I was supposed to be a lifeguard, supposed to start on a Monday, snuck into the club with my friends like we always had, right? It was like it's probably like the umpteenth time, easily in like double digits times we snuck in. But this one Saturday, I snuck in with my friends and come in with like my parka, which has my name on the front and the school on the back. I give it to my girlfriend at the time, and she didn't even want to wear it. But I was like, no, just wear it. I don't want to hear about you being cold, kind of thing. And when we come in, she takes it off. And then, like at around 1 a.m., like a janitor or one of the maybe he was coming to hang out there too, because he wasn't a janitor either. He was like, I wasn't exactly a lifeguard either. I forget exactly what his role was there, but maybe had some role here at the clubhouse. And he shows up with somebody like 1 a.m. and we all bolt, right? I'll fucking bolt, but I leave my parka behind with my name on the front, name of school on the back, right? And my friend, she leaves her purse behind. So it's like her purse with all her ID in it, right? Everyone else gets off scot-free. My girlfriend, my two other buddies, but my one friend, she left a purse. I left my parka. And they call me in on Sunday. Cops show up at my door with my parka at my house. Right? Is this yours? Yes, it's mine. Okay, they want to speak with you down at the clubhouse, which is literally just down the street from me. It's like fucking 15 houses down, sort of thing, right? Yeah, we can't have you start Monday after all. You caught you sneaking in even before you started. So I lost that job before I even started. Though I did have the job, I never worked the day of it, right? Got fired the day before I was supposed to start. Next job. So I didn't even know that manager, to be quite frank. I mean, I can hardly even remember. I don't even remember what she really looked like. I just remember her telling me she couldn't hire me, and I totally understand. That's that next one. Worked at like this mall in the Spectrum, right? Where 5 and 405 meet in Irvine. Big Ferris wheel there, if everyone's kind of knows what I'm talking about. That I used to make spin. But there, that job, oh my God, fuck that guy, dude. I didn't want to get into these stories, dude. Each one is like it's so long in and of itself. I'm exhausted, but fuck that boss. Let's just go through ones I did and didn't like, and I can always Oh, I will always end up talking about these bosses, I bet, to some degree at some time. I don't have to talk about all of them at once, right? Fuck that one though, dude. Listen to this ending piece about that. They didn't even tell me they fired me, right? All right. So the issue was there's so much backstory to this, but the bottom line is after 10 months of working there, not missing a single damn day, I called in one day. I said, I cannot come in. Like I got a midterm tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. I cannot make it. I had multiple midterms the next day or something like that. I cannot come in. I was overwhelmed where I've been 10 months straight, made every single day, never once called out, even covered for other people and then all that time too. But today I can't. And they said, and I tried to get people to cover for me too. And people I had covered for were not willing to cover for me kind of thing. I said, fuck this. Like, I'm just calling in and telling them I can't make it. I could have guessed lied and said I was ill or something, because I should have, I guess, in retrospect, but I didn't. Then ultimately, I said, I'll accept whatever the consequences are. Then like 2 days later, or a day later or something, 2 days later, I go to log in to check my schedule for when I'm supposed to work that week, and I can't even log into the system. Then I call my boss. I'm like, what the fuck? Did you just fire me? Like, what the hell? I didn't say what the fuck and what the hell, but I was like, I can't log in. Did you fire me? He's like, and he wouldn't say he fired me, right? Um, I kept trying to get him to say, did you just fire me? Like, he's like, no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it like that. So I guess I got laid off. I don't know, right? Like what the heck, right? But that was like the weirdest, wackest way to like let me go, after like 10 months of working there. And there was a backstory to why he didn't like me, which I guess I could unpack, but fuck that. But um, but I mean, that was so weird, right? And I guess I could have filed for unemployment after that, I suppose. I don't know how that works, but I didn't. But if he had fired me, I can't collect unemployment if I've been fired. And I mean, I guess there is cause there because I missed a day, but missing a day, I don't think could ever constitute cause for firing, right? Fuck. I mean, that one was weird. I feel like I was like almost wrongfully terminated there, but of course I'm biased. But fuck that guy. Next one was a sweet lady who was sales and marketing manager for this like Turkish tech company like I worked for, like through the connections with my father. I was like an intern there for like 6 months. They did this like VoIP client, kind of cool little thing where you like make a call. You can make a call on the computer, to any like mobile phones or landlines in like 50 plus countries, right? For free, right? It was just preceded by like an advertisement, and then you could have like a 10-minute call. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And the call quality wasn't fantastic, but it was serviceable. And I've thought about it before. Times where I lost my phone or couldn't find my phone. I was like, I wish I could just call my phone from my computer, right? Kind of thing. And obviously, there's a better, more wide-ranging applications for a VoIP client thing than that example. But that said, right, like that was a cool little thing. In 6 months, I just worked from Irvine. This company was based in Santa Clara as like a remote intern, and just did like product research on competitors and like tested out the competitor stuff, even talked to like a VoIP like blog writer, and then went back and forth via email with him. He wrote articles, right? And I just as an author, and I get his email at the bottom. I emailed him. I said, could you tell me what you think of like what we're doing, right? And then did a call with him over it, and like Indian guy, and then he did write a big piece about us. I experimented with all the other kind of clients out there, recommendations as far as what I thought we should do, what others aren't doing, et cetera, et cetera. Right? It's kind of it was very loosely defined role. And I kind of made at the end of each, 2 weeks or something, I think I submitted like the number of hours, guesstimated hours I worked. And every 2 weeks would submit to her. Maybe it was every week, I forget, but submit to her like my report, analysis, findings, what I did, what I'm thinking, what just kind of being her like ears to the ground. It was a cushy gig, right? And I didn't really over-report my hours. I was pretty honest about it, and I kind of liked it. I think that was really my first foray into tech, to be honest. And it was very like straightforward tech. VoIP wasn't overly complicated, but it was cool to like learn about like competitive intelligence. It was really what I was doing. and just like understanding a market, and understanding how this product this company I was working for fit into that market, and where they could kind of corner the market, or where they may have had an edge over others or whatnot, right? And that was cool for 6 months, but then around the 6 month mark, they change it up so that you could make a call instead of you could make a call and it would only last like 3 minutes. And then you would have to make I forget if it was like you have to make another call that would hang up, and you have to make another call, be proceeded. It basically went from being like a free 10-minute call to like you got like 3 minute calls or something really whack that it went to. And it was just like, what the fuck are we talking about now? Never mind. Plus, I already got my 6 months in, and I mean, you hit a wall here, right? If you guys are cutting it down to like 3 minute calls, never mind, and then the next one after that, what was it? It's FedEx, man. Ooh, there I had some good bosses, some bad bosses, 3 bosses total. Last one was the worst. Even now to this day, my colleagues from there tease me about the time I quit. I was like, I quit, and when the girl swears, I jumped, right? She swears, you jumped on your thing. You like rose your hand and then you jumped up, I quit. I swear I didn't jump, but like I could see how it looked like that, or like perceived as such, because I really did just like yell in the middle of store, I quit. Fuck that bitch though. But the other 2 bosses weren't bad. I actually like the other 2 there. The first 2 there, just not the last. Next one, my first sales gig. He was a good boss. He was decent. He was good. He's a nice guy. Sat next to him too at a certain point. My direct manager, and then there was the VP who I ended up working with again down the line. I didn't really report directly to that VP. I reported to my manager, and he was cool. That was my first sales game. We were all young, and it was all straight out of college, and it was a animal house of sorts, right? That job. Next job, oh my God, that boss, fuck that guy so bad, dude. I hate him so much. And even I had a coworker who I worked with there said like he hated you too. He's like, I don't understand why you guys hate each other so much. But fuck that guy, dude. Oh my God. Fuck that guy, dude. We both got let go together, him and me, when they were doing layoffs. After we got acquired, him and me, he got laid off right before me. He got pulled in first. After him, I got pulled in, and we both got laid off. But not just us, others also. But god damn, he hated me. I hated him. He once pulled me in a room, right? And I forget if it was because I was playing Risk, online Risk. It was like my lunch hour, and others in the office were playing as well. We were all playing each other, just like online, right? I was just taking my turn, right? In like a lunchtime hour. And he was furious. I forget it was because of that incident, or if it was because of an incident where this girl that I was sitting next to got this Indian company to pay. And she was saying like weeks prior, like maybe months probably prior, like not months, but like maybe that's 6 weeks prior, that she didn't want to call this company because they were Indian and they wouldn't pay. And I was like, no, you can't be like that. Like you got to go for it, just go for it. And then like 6 weeks later or something, whatever it was, she's like, oh, that company I'm telling you about, they closed. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. You got the Indians to pay. Hell yeah. And he was furious, bro. And maybe it was that time where he pulled me into a room, but it could have been the Risk time too. I have a feeling it was actually the Risk time, to be honest, but I'm trying to remember. Pulls me into a room and starts going off of me. And I hear his like by quote, right? You are a dumb ass. You are a fucking dumb ass. You are so stupid. Like coming, like berating me like this. I was like, whoa, what? Like, and I understand how that Indian thing could come off really badly, like really does come off racist. But I honestly, where I was coming from wasn't a racist thing. It was like almost just referencing the company, right? Like, but anyways, like, I mean, obviously there's that stereotype too, so I understand. And I'm not saying I'm faultless. That one actually was, I really towed the line with that one, so I understand like why that one could have not been okay. But I'm pretty sure when he pulled me in this room, it was after that Risk incident, man. It wasn't even because of this Indian thing, if I remember correctly. Either which way, he pulled me in multiple times and just like went at me, man. I was like, whoa, dude, if I could record this kind of thing is what's going through my head. Like, I don't think people even believe me, is what first thing was. I don't think people even believe this, right? You know, like, I even, God, if I could just record this, right? That's kind of like one of the things that led to my obsession with like trying to like record everything, is even stretching back to like high school. So many things would happen with me with like administrators and stuff that I was like convinced nobody would believe, right? And it just made me like obsessed with being honest so that people would believe me when I told them something happened actually happened. Because so much unbelievable shit happened to me that like I was like, the only way people ever believe me if they just believe, if they know that I'm like honest about shit, right? Second was like, I just want to record everything. Like I just want to, I'll wear a fucking camera on me through my life, like honestly. Just to, that's like first obsession with like not documenting, but like, I wish I could record everything kind of thing. And like this example with this boss was an example of that too, man. Like it was just so bad, bro. And then what? Next one was the former VP that I worked like one removed from. He had, well, CEO there. They were both good. They were both good bosses. Good for me, like very stable. Both the CEO, and then when the VP of sales came in and I reported to him, he was good too for me. Cool. Then the next one, I'm not even sure who I really reported to at that company. I'd be honest, bro. Like was not even clear who my manager was. Was it the director? Was it the manager? I think, and then at one point the VP. I think maybe it was all three at different times. Like it was just such a fucking shit show. Like a hugely successful company, but like that customer success department was a mess, man. It was a joke. And there, whatever, man. Like, yeah, didn't dislike anybody, especially didn't like anybody, especially. In some ways, maybe that's the worst. Almost like a different attitude toward people you worked with over a year and a half with, right? I feel like I get more out of hating somebody, definitely more out of really liking somebody, but I think I get more out of hating somebody than having like no, like being indifferent to somebody, to be honest. The indifference doesn't like benefit me in any way. Even if there's somebody hates or hates me or hurts me or like, has it out for me, I think I grow from that in a way that I don't from like indifference to the people I work with, right? Yeah. And then there was here, right? So here's five different bosses. All first four weren't really bosses, which is really what I liked about this job to begin with, is I wasn't really micromanaged and I really had freedom to just be my own self boss, not be anybody's boss, but at the same time, not really have a boss. I was just my own boss sort of thing. And for like maybe like 3 years, and then eventually got a boss here that was really a proper boss, and she was my last boss here. And she was really good, actually. Like when she first started, there was a lot of skepticism about her that I think was merited. I think she did actually adjust herself some. Not that I had much direct interaction with her in the early days, because we didn't report to her until like a year after she got hired, right? I think when she got hired, I think she believed she was going to be our manager. And then there was some type of politicking that happened, and she wasn't ultimately our manager until like a year later. It came full circle and she became our manager, right? But she was the best boss I've ever had. I mean, she was a professional manager. I mean, has all the fucking accreditations to show for it too. And really was. She really was really professional, but also was really good. Like you have it or you don't, right? So have a natural instinct for it. Some people don't. I do believe you can, you know, take years of training and still be a shitty manager. But she was an example of someone I think was naturally a good manager, and also took years of training. So it was like very obvious you were dealing with someone special as far as like as a manager. And me, no experience being a manager, no training being a manager. I'm about to be one. We'll see how it goes, man. You know, I know I feel really bad for my current colleague because we constantly come into like our one-on-ones, and I don't really have an agenda for her a lot. Like I have in my head an agenda a little bit, but sometimes I'm just so distracted and so more so than even distracted, like flustered or like by like what I'm trying to deal with, right? Because I'm dealing with customers all the time too. that I feel I don't even, not just feel, I know I really don't give her kind of the management guidance, right, that I could or should. Um, really kind of focus on her professional development because I'm so, or at least I feel so swamped by like all the customers I have to deal with. I don't even really focus on kind of how I can help build her up. Um, so I'm hoping now with being able to eventually hand over a lot of these US accounts, this US CSM, I can really zoom out and, like I said, get more tactical, be more tactful, be more like strategic, be more, be more helpful even to my colleague out here than I have been over the year I've been here. It's because I've been so deep diving into, what I've been trying to do with all the customers I have, right? Anyways, so that was really kind of not that interesting of story time. I just went through the boss and told you what, fuck them, I like them, fuck them, I like them, right? The story is really maybe actually in retrospect what I should have got into. Like there's a story about each one of them, but fucking man, I'm all out of sorts today, but not in a bad way. Like I feel good. I'm just like, I was watching, I was trying to like watch like Bohemian Rhapsody. I've never seen that before. I was trying to watch that earlier. And I was just like seeing double, dude. Like my, not double, but like my eyes weren't focusing. I was like, my eyes are not focusing, right? That's how tired I am. And not needing to make excuses or whatnot. But that said, I do like being tired. I remember like Steve Jobs, there's a quote about Steve Jobs talking about this like sleep deprivation. Like not when I'm trying to like work, right? That is one of the most worst feelings when you're trying to get work done. You have no energy to do it and you're just exhausted like that. Fuck that. But if it's not work related, if they'll have to do work, right? I actually don't mind being exhausted. I kind of like it. And I think, right, that people often talk about marijuana being the gateway drug. I think it's sleepovers. I think sleep deprivation is the gateway drug. I think that when you're a little kid and I didn't really get to go to sleepovers. My parents didn't really understand it. My dad definitely didn't, and definitely didn't really was allowed to have them until later kind of talked to my mom into talking my dad into like allowing us on special occasion to have friends over sort of thing, because we did have like a cool like little perfect little loft for sleepovers, and people have all their memories from that loft from those few times we were allowed to have people over, to be honest. But yeah, like sleepovers, man, that's the gateway drug. It's the whole sneaking out, which is part of sleepover too, is the sneaking out and the rush of that, the adrenaline of that, and even just the excitement of sneaking out. Like we would sneak out to do what? But it was so much fun, you know? I mean that, and then also just the being up late at night, you get giggly, start laughing, everything's hilarious. It's just that sleep deprivation is the gateway drug. I swear by it, right? And then of course, once you really enjoy staying up late, not sleeping, then it just leads to drugs, bro. It just leads to nightlife. It just leads to drugs, bro. Uh, so no sleepovers for my daughter, I'm just kidding. I'm not like that. I wonder how it would be if I had a daughter. I don't know. I wonder how it would be if I had a son. I don't know. I wonder how I'm going to be as a manager. I don't know. Like time will tell. We will see. Um, I know how I'll probably be as a husband. I like to believe a lot better than the boyfriend I've been to, a lot of the girls I've been with. But that was a horrible boyfriend. But I can do better. The idea is, for the wife. Or no, we never cheated on anybody, nothing like that. But it's young. It's been so long since I've actually had a girlfriend, bro. It's like embarrassing to even admit, man. Like there was a girl, a blip, 11-month blip, but it's more than a blip because it felt significant, right? For like 11, 10 months back when I turned 28. But prior to that, like it had been since I was like 25. So it's like a 3-year run without a girlfriend and then had one for like a year. And now it's been like a 4-year run. So if it weren't for that like 10-month stretch, it'd be like 6 years with that girlfriend through like quality time, right? My 25 to 32, to have one girlfriend all that time. What the fuck is wrong with me? You know, it's weird. But then again, I was going through stuff, right? Like 3 years of going through fucking court shit and stuff, and didn't want to date when I was, facing 4 felonies, and didn't want to date when I was going through the court thing, and then they got this job, and I was commuting from Santa Clara to San Francisco. I was like, well, am I gonna try and date somebody in San Francisco and then drive back, or try and drive back so that I can meet up to date somebody in like the South Bay? Sounds like I'm making excuses. And sure, to some degree, I guess I am, but like I felt like they were real reasons not to even try to date. And I really didn't. I don't feel I had the space or mind space or time, or the situation wasn't right to even try to. And then I got that second DUI and I couldn't even really technically drive, living with my mom, like without a car, may as well have been in high school again, dude. Shit. Yeah, then I got the fucking breathalyzer. So what? I'm gonna pick up obviously I would just take a Lyft or an Uber and meet some up with somebody rather than drive. But the worst thing, I'll pick up a girl and be having to blow into this fucking BB bullshit, bro. Fuck that. And then what? I've been out here a year. Like, I guess I could have like swiped right, sure, and met up with people, but it's been like Corona times, and I've been fucking up to my eyeballs in trying to get this shit working, right? And fortunately, it's working, right? But I mean, we'll see. I'm not too concerned about it, but my bigger concern is that maybe I'm not more concerned with how okay I am with being like the hermit I have been. Like I am completely okay with this life I've been living, and that kind of scares me a little bit because I do want a wife and kids and all that, and I think like last year I've been here, I'm perfectly happy not going anywhere, doing anything, seeing anyone. I'm a little bit surprised by how okay I was that have been with it, to be honest. Maybe it wouldn't be the same if shit was actually happening. Maybe I'd feel like some FOMO. But then I go to Camden Market like this weekend and other weekends there too, and I see like how much is happening out there, and I don't feel like FOMO. Um, I don't know. And I thought I'd be okay with like living on my own, not doing anything. I swore by it, and lo and behold, I was absolutely right, even at the most extremist sense of like not just being on my own, living on my own halfway around the world, but not going anywhere, doing anything either. Like okay with even that. Um, but yeah, anywho, I do like my watch. No, I will say that it does feel like me, honestly. Something to be said about that. Like, I don't mean that I am like, I know it's material and I know it's a little materialistic, but I am sentimental about my stuff too. Like, it's sentimental materialism. I don't know if the actual phrase, I feel like I coined it to be honest, but sentimental materialism. I think just something to be said about that. I mean, it's not like I'm shelling out big bucks, but these things mean actually probably more to me than they're really worth. With the exception of like those gold coins I buy once a year, or the platinum coin I buy once a year, or this chain that I bought the day I got felony free. The night I got felony free when I bought this online. Get rid of some chains, get rid of, get rid of those chains and buy myself a new chain to remind myself of the chains I was in, forever after, Oh, to remind myself of the deep dive I took. And came up breathing. To have a ball. Because honestly, like stress relief, like just having a ball, I maybe should get a squishy one, right? But yeah. Anywho, obviously I had nothing really to say today, but we'll see. There's a new narrative at play here with as far as managing somebody new from halfway around the world that I didn't even do any reference calls on. Spoke with her twice. Had a bunch of back and forth via email since then. seems really good via email. Um, and just took a leap of faith, trust my gut. This other girl that we passed on like ended up LinkedIn messaging me on like a Sunday or something. Like this was like not last week, even the week before. I feel like maybe it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, or a week ago. Exactly. Did she message me, asked me for feedback on like why we passed on her? And I was like, that's why I passed on you, man. Like that kind of like, I know that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to, get feedback, if something passes on you so you can improve yourself or the strength of your candidacy or blah, blah, blah. But like, goddamn, I don't want to give you feedback. I probably will, to be honest, but like, seriously, it's just annoying. Like, I never asked anybody for feedback on why they passed on me, like, okay, you passed on me because you like somebody else more. I mean, that's almost what I was tempted to tell her. Pass on you because I like somebody else more, but that's not the feedback. You're looking for me to give you some like constructive feedback that you can, better yourself around. I get it. Okay, so very proactive, fantastic, right? But not my cup of tea, to be quite frank. Everyone relax, like now I have to get all fucking constructive. I didn't like you. Like, come on. We all have to, we all just keep it real. I didn't like you as much as the one I went with. I just didn't think our styles aligned. Like, maybe I'd say it just like that. But it was more that I'm just being lazy, right? I could give her more constructive feedback, sure. But, anyways, that's neither here nor there. With that said, I'll leave it at that for this week. Much love. Be happy. Do good. Love out.